Welcome back to Daffodil Diaries. We are now in episode 2. My name is Ria. I'm one of your marketing co-leads.
And my name is Sophie. As you remember from last episode, we are your co hosts today, and we are joined with a very special guest.
Selena.
Here you go, you can take the mic.
Hi, I'm Selena, and I'm the logistics coordinator.
We're here with Selena. So, like she said, you're a logistics coordinator. So, do you want to tell us what you kind of do in the club, why you joined the club, why you relay?
Yeah.
Pop off.
Anything
About yourself.
Okay, I'll start with majors. So I'm a psychology major, and I'm also minoring in health sciences, so that's fun. And as a logistics coordinator, we do most of our work during the relay, actually, but setting up the tents for the survivors, decorating, coming up with games to play, and logistics stuff.
Why did you decide to join SFU-CCS and join Relay for Life?
Okay, well, I joined Relay for Life because I myself am a survivor, so I've always been on the receiving end of like fundraisers, so I thought it'd be cool to actually participate in making a fundraiser. So that was like my main goal. And also it's just nice to like be in a club and involve yourself in extracurriculars, so.
And how did you find out about CCS?
I found out through Clubs Day and also like the club's form on the website. So I scrolled through and I like this one like caught my eye, so I was like, all right, I gotta join this club now. So
Were you involved in any other clubs before this, or was this is your very first like?
this is my very first.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice.
As like a cancer survivor, did you know about like Relay for Life before SFU-CCS?
I knew there were like marathons and stuff, but not like Relay for Life
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I feel like Relay for Life isn't really known as well. Like I was exposed to it in high school, but like coming into the club, I feel like a lot of people knew about it like coming into university. So yeah, I feel like it is a great cause. With that being said, is it okay if we get into your story?
Yes,
Where you
of
come from?
course.
Before you begin, I just want to say thank you for coming here and being vulnerable with us. Like that's really amazing, and like feeling comfortable with Sophie and I to be here and talk to us and like just share your story. I find it so admirable that you decide to join to give back. Like that is like wow. I'm not gonna cry this episode. Let's try not to cry, but yeah.
And that was also one of the goals of our podcast, was to give survivors a chance to share their stories and to educate the audience about how much cancer plays a role in people's lives and how our club is dedicated to helping you guys share your stories and yeah, to raising awareness and stuff. So thank you for being here and for sharing your story again. And I guess we'll jump right into it, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So it's all you. Where do you want to
You can
start?
take your time. Like let us know if
Okay.
you need to stop or anything.
No, it's like not traumatizing at all for me. Anyways, okay, I guess I'll start with like how I suspected it, I guess. So to sum up, I think I was like 9 or 10, so childhood. But it all started with like growing pains in like my left leg, and like at first like I thought they were growing pains, so I ignored them for a bit. I played soccer and I was like pretty like falling down all the time, all that. So I was like, oh, maybe I just like strained my muscles. And then like for 2 weeks, it's just like unrelenting, like it won't go away. It's like nonstop aching, and I'm like, okay, like something's weird. And this is like 9-year-old me, so even I kind of had an idea like something's off. So we went to my family doctor, and then she dismissed it as growing pains, which I don't blame her because it's like not common for like a kid to have cancer. So um went through that, and then I like complained to my mom more. I was like, I'm not like gonna stop until like we get something going here. So found another doctor. He like felt around my leg and it like stung when he like touched it. It was like really weird sensation. I don't weird. Um got x-rays done and whoop-de-doo. The way I figured, or well, the way like it was shown to me was I was like in the hospital like just standing, and there was just a nurse talking to me, and someone like bursts into the room, and they're like, "Stop standing on your leg right now!" Like they like screamed at me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Can I walk to the bed?" And they're like, "No, just stand on your right leg right now." And I'm like, "Okay." So like hopping on one leg to the bed, and then like they're like, "Okay, we need to do a biopsy of like your leg." And for, I guess for those who don't know, it's like they like grab a micro piece of your leg bone, your femur, and put it in a lab and analyze it. So I think, yeah, I went, that was like my first major surgery, so that was kind of scary. And then I woke up, and then it hurt like a lot after. I didn't realize like cutting through muscle, it's very like I can't even describe it. It's like a horrible pinch. Like when you pinch like your armpit here, it's like that times like 5,000.
Wait, so you were awake during the biopsy?
No, I was sleeping, thank God.
Okay.
But like after I woke up, like it was so painful to like, yeah.
And which part of your leg was it? Sorry.
My femur, like my
So,
left leg,
so like that's like upper or lower?
like
Like femur.
from like, you know, like the ball part of the femur, it's like that all the way to like slightly above my knee. That's like where the cancer was, at least. Trying to remember. The biopsy came back, got my diagnosis, and then I was like sat down in the doctor's room, and they just told it to me in front of my like parents and me, and I was just sitting there like, oh, what is going on? I was kind of too shocked to like do anything, so I kind of just sat there. My first concern was like, am I gonna lose my hair? Like that, like a concern a normal girl would have at her age. But as soon that became like the least of my concerns. Uh, I guess I started treatment pretty soon after that, like 2 days at the children's hospital. And I remember my first round of treatment, it was pretty rough. It was like, I don't even know what the medicine was called, but obviously chemotherapy. And it was like, it makes you really light sensitive and dizzy. So I was like my world was spinning like 24/7. Like I couldn't even like stand up straight or anything else. So it was like that for like a good like 3 days straight, I think. I just like slept and like ate. I don't even know what I did. But yeah, that's like the most I can remember up until now about the beginning. Uh yeah. um
And like I
yeah, it's a
guess
lot.
what were you feeling like? I know you said you were shocked at first. Like how did you I guess kind of deal with it or you know?
The thing is like I couldn't there was no room to deal with it. You kind of just had to like power through it. That was like my mentality. I don't think I really had time to process anything. I kind of just did whatever I was told. And like I think I was stressed, but like I don't really remember my feelings at that time just cuz it was such a like chaotic, I don't know. And I didn't like realize the gravity of the situation either. Like I as a kid I was just afraid of like diseases like cancer, but once I actually got it, I was like I didn't realize like a lot of the times cancer is very like life or death situation. So I'm kind of glad I didn't realize that at that point. But on the bright side, mine was really treatable according to the doctors. And well, it was because I'm here, but um yeah, it was definitely a shock. I remembered.
I feel like the way the doctor said it, like as they like burst into the room and then just said don't stand on your I feel like that's a really like shocking or
It definitely
interesting way to say
was.
it.
But I mean, it makes sense like their urgency because I think my leg at that point was so like the bone was so deteriorated that if I like stood on it any longer or like stomped or something, it would break clean in like half. So moving on to the next traumatizing arc. I like to like speak as it's like an episode because I don't know that's the best way for me to describe it. But um, soon after I started treatment, maybe like 2 months in, they put me on crutches like right away so I wouldn't use my left leg. But I think I was like going wig shopping or something. I wasn't really interested in wigs. I was kind of happy with just being bald and just walking around with it. But anyways, at a wig shop, I trip on a mat, fall, and my femur gets split like right in half and it breaks. And that was probably like the most painful thing I've ever endured in my life. Um, it was like a burning sensation. I don't even like can't even describe it. But yeah, so that broke. Um, and I had to be put in like traction, like like you're, like on bed rest for like 3 months. And they were like, I kind of had like a hope like maybe I'd get back on crutches, but like after 3 months of like just straight up sitting in bed all day, um, they put me in a wheelchair. So then I was wheelchair bound for like a year. So that was interesting. Um, I'd say like the worst part of my journey was definitely like being in bed rest for like 3 months straight. I was in the hospital like that. My room became like I like decorated my hospital room because I was in there for so long, and I was still undergoing treatment. And there were some pretty like harsh treatments too. Like I remember like the dreaded 5 day cycle, which was like for 5 days straight you're given this like really like hardcore chemotherapy, and it's like that one just like makes you nauseous. Doesn't you don't want to eat, you don't want to like do anything. So that one sucked a lot. And what's worse is like after the 5 day cycle, you can't even get a break because then you get sick after because your immune system is like so trashed. And so they put you on antibiotics. It's like a lot of things just pumping through your body. And you can't even sleep because every 2 hours the nurses wake you up and they're like, you gotta go to the bathroom because, hydration and stuff. So not a lot of sleep. But I mean, a lot of like the memories have become very dulled now over time. It's been like what, like 8 years for me now. So I don't like in the moment it sucked, but now when I'm thinking about it, it kind of just like happened. Um, so that's like the specifics of like how treatment was for me. But yeah, leg recovered. While I was in traction, I got a visit by Michael Bublé. That was interesting.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
How
god.
was he?
I had no clue who he was because I was like 9, but my mom told me he sings the Christmas songs, and I was like, okay. So that's something to brag about. Can't remember any other like celebrities, but a few do show up to the hospital.
That's so cool.
Mhm.
That's really cool, yeah.
Can I ask some questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been yapping a lot.
Oh, girl, no, it's your episode. It's all
Okay.
you. We want to hear about you and you only. So like you said, you were playing soccer. So did you have to kind of stop, or did you ever go back after treatment and recovery?
I kind of had a hope of going back, but if I'm being honest, I wasn't really that passionate for soccer anyways. My mom kind of just like put me in the sport to put me in it.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucked because like right when I was getting good at it was when I got diagnosed. So I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
But I was honestly by the time I was like finished my treatment and in recovery, I was like, yeah, I don't care about playing soccer. I'm like, I just want to get better. So nothing really that bad there. Yeah.
How did it affect like school and like friendships or family, like any
School-
personal life, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, that's fine. I know my family was like very stressed, but like they didn't make it obvious to me, so honestly I'm glad they like didn't show that in front of me. My friends, I had one or two friends that would like visit me every now and then, which is really nice. So that was cool. A lot of my like elementary school classmates my friends told me like the room like froze when they were told like the news that I got diagnosed or something. Like they all thought I was gonna die and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like a grade 5 class. Like
Yeah.
they gave me like a basket from the school. That was really nice. So I think I like got some decorations and hung it up in my room. I don't know what I did. So that was nice. School, honestly, I like they'd have a tutor come in like twice a week to do like super basic stuff. But if I was I never paid attention.
Yeah. That's fair.
I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of a miracle because like after I finished treatment and went into remission and stuff, I got to skip all of grade 6. I just went straight into grade 7. I don't know if that was good or bad for me, but I think it was good because I was with the same class that I was like before. But academically, I don't know if that was okay. but whatever. I'm happy with it. So
You're here now. You're at SFU. You're
yeah,
thriving. You're
exactly.
great. You're doing amazing. There was something else I wanted to ask, but so how long did you go through treatment? Like, how long was your?
It was a year and like 2 months for me, I think, which is actually like somewhat short compared to a lot of other people. I know for kids with like leukemia, it's like 2 to 3 years, and I like that's horrible. That sucks because I mean leukemia is like the most common childhood cancer, I think. So yeah, don't know what it's like. Like I think I had a friend with leukemia. Like I made friends with her in the hospital. So and she was battling for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a downer, but I did hear that she passed recently. I didn't know her that well, but I was like, whoa, 7 years is a long time. And I was like, I think she chose to like stop treatment,
Yeah.
but I'm honestly really thankful like my treatment worked as like much as it sucked. Because for a lot of kids it doesn't, so it's very like 50-50 sometimes. Like you don't know, since everyone's different, you don't know if the treatment's going to work for you. So that's like kind of the scary part.
Yeah.
uh yeah, did you ask something else? I like don't remember.
No, I don't remember
Okay.
either. I feel like at like that age too, like everything's so black and white. Like like you said, it's either life or death. That's kind of all you know, and like I feel like from the moment you found out, like it's just been like chaos. You couldn't take a breather and just stop and like process what was happening. I feel like from that moment on, from being diagnosed, it just kept on going, like going through treatment, and then you breaking your femur. It was just like nonstop. So I can't imagine what's going through your mind at like 9, because like you don't really have like a grasp of reality, like what's going
No,
on, and
yeah.
like you have to be hit with reality at such a young age, and I feel like that's a lot for a 9-year-old to go through. And like I know you said like those memories are kind of dulled out now, but like I don't even, can't even imagine. Oh my gosh, like how I know you said you like kind of blocked it out, but like as an adult now, like do you have like a different perspective on anything, or?
I don't know about different perspective. I think like ever since I had like my treatment, even during treatment, I was like very open about talking about it, like very fine, like talking about it. I had nothing like I wasn't scared to say anything. I don't know. Maybe it's just like the way I'm built, but like
No, I love that. I love
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I've always been fine talking about it because like it doesn't spark like like I know for some people like they have like PTSD, but I don't think I do. Maybe I'm just I don't know.
No, I feel like you cope with how you cope with it. Like there's no right
Yeah.
or wrong way to cope with it. Some people maybe they're a little hesitant on sharing, but you're more open, but there's no right or wrong. So I think that's amazing, because there are a lot of people that like are really like, don't feel comfortable sharing. So
Yeah. Like I would say for me it doesn't impact my everyday life like
yeah.
at all. The only like thing that like impacts me is like the long-term like symptoms of like chemotherapy and oh yeah, so like
Yeah.
I guess I skipped over this
Yeah.
part, but anyways, I got my hip replaced,
Oh
so
my gosh.
yeah. So I forgot at the end of my treatment. The thing is like they didn't tell me about this, but I see why they didn't. Um like I think like a few weeks before my treatment officially ended, they're like, "Okay, so you're going to get a hip replacement." And I was like, "Okay." Like I don't know, like 9-year-old me thought, "Hey, my leg will be fine after, right? It doesn't need to be replaced." No, it totally did. But cuz they wanted to minimize any chance of like cancer reoccurring. So they replaced like the socket, like not the socket itself, but like the ball all the way to like slightly above my knee. On the bright side, they were like 2 millimeters away from hitting my growth plate, so at least I could grow on my left leg. They're like, otherwise we would have had to stop the other one on your other leg, and I would have forever been 4'10", so
Oh my gosh.
that would have sucked.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I got that surgery. That was a really big surgery, and I think like a lot of rehabilitation. It was very surreal standing again for the first time after that surgery. I was like on a walker. Like I felt like an old lady. I was like, damn, like I'm like 10 years old and I'm like my joints are like aching and cracking. I was like, wow. But I remember taking my first steps with like the physiotherapists, the RMTs, whichever. So they do some really good work, honestly. Honestly, rehabilitation was probably like really like the most annoying part because honestly, as a kid, like who wants to exercise?
Yeah.
Like I'm like I don't want to do like I don't know boring hospital exercises. I'd rather like go out and run in a field or something.
Yeah.
But obviously, can't do that. So yeah, hip replaced. I was more bummed that I could never go on a trampoline ever again. That was my main gripe.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, no trampolines for me. Or skating. Or skiing.
Oh.
Or high impact running. Quite a bit, but I don't run anyways. So it's
I was like running.
I was like,
I have a question though. So what is like the actual like term or like name for the cancer you got?
oh yeah, Ewing's sarcoma was
Sorry, what was it?
mine. Ewing's sarcoma.
Ewing sarcoma.
Yeah.
And like, do you mind me asking if you have like if your family had a history with it or like what was the
No family history.
Interesting.
It was like just completely random. Like I think I just got like unlucky. So that was my I was a pretty healthy kid too. I was active. I was in a bunch of different sports. Um eating as normal as a kid does. I don't know. So I seriously just think it was like random. Not sure what caused it.
I feel like this is like proof that like it can happen to anyone really.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought you're like a healthy like 9-year-old girl playing soccer and like, you know, it's so unexpected and there's no family history behind it, so it just shows it can happen to really anyone and it really just shows to embrace whatever you have whenever you are, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I remember the doctor telling me like, like cancer can start for like years ago and then lay dormant and then reactivate later. He's like, it could have happened. And like I'm like, I don't know, like I'm 9. How do I understand that? But anyways, so I don't know. That was interesting to think about. So I don't know. It kind of just happened, and I was like, oh well. But what is kind of crazy is like my intuition when I was 9. I like even before I got the cancer diagnosis, as like after like weeks of like aching and like being in pain, before I even went to the family doctor, I was like, Mom, I feel like it's cancer. And maybe that was me being like a scared 9-year-old of like just the term cancer, but I was like, I wasn't wrong. So, I mean, someone get me a doctor's degree or a doctorate like right now.
I feel like you just know. Like you
Yeah.
know your body, you know something's going on.
Yeah.
Even it doesn't matter how like you're a 9, but you still knew something was wrong. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that a lot. I feel like people just know that something's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those moments.
Yeah. But yay you did it.
Yeah.
You knew. There was something else I wanted to kind of brush upon. Yeah, so you went through rehab. That's a lot of patience. And just like I feel like it's not only physically exhausting to try to get back onto your feet again. It's mentally exhausting having to put yourself through that. How long were you in rehab for?
Honestly, like it's kind of never ending if I'm
Yeah.
being honest. Like to get to the point where I am now, it's taken years.
Yeah.
It probably would have taken less had I taken my exercises seriously, but honestly, after I had no concentration like or attention span left, so I was like I remember my mom would like force me to do my exercises. I'm just like I want to lay in bed and do nothing. Cuz like it takes like they said like 2 to 3 years for you to start feeling normal after all that treatment. So I don't know. But I mean now like I go to the gym, I walk around campus. I used to all throughout high school actually I had like a mobility like a cane and I had it for a bit in like university too, but at some point I kind of just ditched it. I know it's better to walk with it cuz it's like better for my body, but it's so annoying, so I'm walking without it now, so that's good. Does take some stamina for me to walk around campus, but I'd rather just like push myself than keep on using that real. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so irritating to use it. Um so yeah, rehab never ending, but I'm just gonna focus on keeping the leg muscles as strong as possible. I am left with a limp, so I'll probably have a limp for like the rest of my life, but I mean, I don't really care. So,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like how has it impacted your movement now? Um, which you kind of already answered, but yeah, how's it like being at the gym? Like, do you have to like take frequent like breaks or like you were saying your stamina?
at the gym, I usually just do what's best for
Yeah.
me. Like, um, I don't only focus on my legs. I just,
Mm-hmm.
upper body,
Yeah.
abs, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very like used to like working out for my legs, so
Mm-hmm.
I usually just do whichever. I push myself enough,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't need to take like frequent breaks. I'm very good at like powering through things,
Yeah.
as we've seen before.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, like rest breaks, I probably should take more, but
Yeah.
I usually I don't because I'm a little impatient sometimes. But the only thing that really annoys me is like parking in like West Mall and
Yeah.
I have like a class in like Blussin.
Oh my
Like that's like the worst for
gosh.
me. But I mean, if I'm late to class, what is my teacher gonna say?
Yeah.
You're late to class, be faster. Like, no.
No.
But I'm show them my leg right there and be like, now tell me that.
Yeah.
So that's like the only gripe I have. But I'm able to function normally every day. I don't really have that many problems aside from like ice. That's like a big thing for me. Like if it's
Yeah.
like super like ice coated outside, like I'm not going outside. If I fall
Yeah.
and dislocate my hip, like it's so easy for me to dislocate my hip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just very cautious about not falling, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I kind of imagine during the wintertime, the black ice, all of that, it's so easy to fall and it's more even sensitive for you.
Yeah, especially on SFU Mountain, like
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like January. It's like pretty cold right now, and it snowed like it started snowing this week. So I wanted to ask, like, have you had any almost kind of scary experiences with your legs or anything like?
in winter specifically, like no. I had to walk home from. I used to walk home from. I live like 5 minutes away from my high school, so I would just walk home, and it was like super snowy one day, and I was like walking like a goblin to my house, like, and I was walking in the snow, not on the sidewalk, because I'm like friction is better. It was just like really funny because I was like so close to being on all fours at some point because I was like, oh my god, I need to get past this hill. It was like a journey. But I think I have like fallen a few times, but like every time I fall, it's like either like on my butt or like forward on my hands. So that's why like ice is the scariest for me because you don't know which way you're slipping. Like you could like cross your legs. Like for me, I'm not allowed to. I can only cross my right leg over my left. I can't cross my left over my right, or it's she's gonna pop out. So it's like things like that. Like I also can't squat because I can't like go over 90 degrees. Like I'm doing it right now, but it's like that's normal. Like I can't like sit with like my knees to my chest. Only one knee. So I don't know, just like weird restrictions like that, I guess, have affected me. But yeah, I've had a few falls. It's nothing. I just get up. But I do like sit for a second and I'm like, do I feel any pain? And then I get back up.
With all the restrictions that you have, like with all the leg movements, how was it at first? Like, were you like devastated at first? Was it frustrating for you? Like, and how did you kind of overcome all
I
this?
mean, it was frustrating, but the thing is, like, a lot of those movements I couldn't perform anymore even if I wanted to. Like, I like to think of it like, for example, like the bending over 90 degrees one, like at some point my body just stops me. Like I can't. Like, think of it as trying to bend your elbow backwards. You can't do it. So that's the same thing for me for a lot of this. So it's like I don't accidentally end up doing it, so it's fine.
Like even if you try, you just couldn't.
I
Like,
just couldn't,
you
no.
physically could not. Yeah. Wow. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for like sharing all of that. Um, sorry, I'm trying to process this. How was it like do you ever, here's I guess another question. Sorry, I'm
Go
asking so
for
many
it.
questions. Like, so like when you tell people about your story, is there any like responses that are like I don't know, rubbed you the wrong way, or like, yeah, like any insensitive, like I feel like you could come across a lot of people that kind of like,
I think so. Like for me, it's more like people in public who like don't know me at all. They're like, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah,
I'm like, first of all, I'm not religious like at all, so I'm like, it's just like I don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I remember like once I was in the mall, just like I was getting a Dork Diaries book. It's
love
the best,
that. Yeah.
best book series
Yes.
ever, and I was. This was like I was still in like rehabilitation, so I had like my cane. Um, and this like guy comes up to me and he's like, I don't know what happened to you, but I'm so sorry for you. And like, can I pray for you? And I was like, what? And I was just like, he's like, can I know what happened to you? And I was like, I don't care about sharing things, but I'm like, bro, I'm like trying to get my book. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I was like, no.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, well, whatever happened to this girl, something Jesus something. And I was like, okay, like I don't care. Like this is like really uncomfortable. And I'm like, I think I'm like 12 or like 13 at this point. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
And like I think it's like being pitied upon is like kind of like annoying at some point because I'm like I don't know, I'm just functioning in my normal life. Like of course like you can it's easy to look at someone who's like in a wheelchair or something and be like, wow, their life sucks.
Yeah.
But it's like, what can you do, man? Like just be like instead of saying like stuff like that, like just be like, you did a good job and call it a day.
Yeah.
Like no, none of this like I'm praying for you because it's like pointing out something's wrong with you and I'm like, girl, I'm just trying to live.
Yeah.
So I think that approach is like very annoying, but that was like a pretty extreme like side of things. I guess another thing is like sometimes when like people I've gotten to know, like they'll ask me what happened because like I'm limping everywhere. They think, and I'm fine addressing that. But like the only thing I'm scared of is it like dulls the mood and then it changes their way that they think of me.
Yeah.
And that suddenly they think I'm like this fragile, incompetent person. And I'm like, no, like I can like do normal things. I'm like I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
So that's like another thing. But aside from that, most of my interactions have been pretty positive. Like they're like, "Whoa, that's insane, but good job." So that's like the best thing for me at least.
Yeah.
But I've had less and less of those experiences as I've grown up. So
Yeah.
And then like during your time like hospital and like your experience, did you ever find like a community, or did you like how did you find like a community? Like did you talk to other people, survivors?
yeah, so actually a coincidence was there was a girl who was older than me. So if I was in grade 5, she was like high school, like maybe grade 9, 10-ish, and she had the exact same cancer as me, exact same place.
Wow.
So that was like a really big coincidence.
Yeah.
So I became like good friends with her. We stay in contact, but like we're kind of just doing our life. She's like way older than me. Well, not way older than me, but she's like got a job. She's all this. So she was a little bit ahead of me in treatment too. So she kind of like mentored me throughout my treatment, which was really nice to have. And honestly, like to go through that like at a high school age when you're kind of like more developed and kind of like understand the gravity of the situation, that like thinking of that does scare me a bit because I'm like once I was in high school myself, I was like, damn, I would have been terrified had this like happened like right now. Because as a kid, I was like dumb. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just doing it. So it was very interesting seeing her go through that. But I'm like so thankful she was there.
Going back to what you were saying before about like people like the mood changing or like people pitying you, like do you feel like people let you having cancer define you as a person and just like
I mean, there's like some of those people, but I'm not friends with them. So I don't know. Most of my friend group, if I'm being honest, has grown with me throughout my treatment.
Mhm.
Like I'm still friends with like most of my elementary school friends
Oh,
and like
that's
high school
cool.
friends.
Yeah.
So I'm like everyone knows me.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest, like they don't think of me as like girl with cancer. They just think
Yeah.
of me as Selena. So
Yeah.
for that I'm thankful.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't met any people recently, like in a long time
Yeah.
actually, who have like thought of me that way,
Mhm.
which is nice.
It is nice.
Ignorance is bliss.
It is because it's like you are your own person. You got through such an amazing thing, and that's a part of you. It's part of your story, but it doesn't define who you are as a person. Like we know you as like the logistics person, the person
Yeah.
like we could not do your job at all. Like, and you're so sweet. Like even when I first met you, like I was like, oh, we get along. She is on the same wavelength as me. Like I like her. Like we clicked. Like I could talk to you comfortably. Like it was fine. So just like knowing this one little more thing extra about you, just like I just see you as so much like this amazing like person that I'm like I look up to a lot.
Thank
So,
you.
I just want to say congratulations for getting through that um at such a young age too. So thank you for sharing that with us and like being vulnerable and letting us ask so many questions and bombard you.
It's fine. I like answering
Yeah,
them. I enjoy it.
So do you have anything to ask? I'm like trying to think what I want to say.
Actually have another like question adding on. So now that I guess it's not over, but like it's just like kind of a thing of the past, but it's still kind of there with you, isn't it? Do you have any like fear of it kind of returning or spreading? Has there been any like caution for you?
Caution, it's like the sun exposure is a thing for me. They're like, do not go in the sun. They're like, wear your sunscreen. Um, don't get sunburned, stuff like that, because I'm more vulnerable to things like that now. In terms of like everything else, they're like, it's like the basic advice for everyone, like eat healthy, do this. Like I don't eat that healthy.
Real.
Like that's so hard to do. But the for me my biggest concern is just staying active because like if I get into old age like with a hip replacement, like it's gonna not benefit me. So if I have to stay strong throughout my whole life course, so
Yeah, so
that's my main thing.
I was gonna ask like, do you ever like live in fear sometimes?
um like occasionally I'll have thoughts like, oh, if this came back it would suck, but I know like I would probably just power through it again. That's probably gonna be my mentality. um but we hope that there never comes a day. So I mean, 9 years remission, so
So impressive.
Period,
Wow.
yeah.
I need a round of applause for that.
Yes.
That's so amazing.
And how were your experiences like in the hospital, like with all the doctors and the nurses? Like, how are they to you?
I mean, the way I described them in my story was very blunt, but they were all like actually very nice and very educated. The one, my oncologist, cancer doctor, by the way, um, for the audience, um, she was really nice. I like made drawings and paintings for her. Drawing and like painting got me like through a lot of this, by the way, like hobbies in general. I did so much Rainbow Loom, like
Real-
so
Oh my
much.
gosh.
She's a Rainbow Loom
Yeah.
girly.
I like became scarily good at it. I also played like a crap ton of Minecraft on my laptop.
Oh, and she's a Minecraft girly too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of Minecraft. But aside from that, yeah, really good doctor. Would not ever want a different doctor other than her. Even though she was like my, like she's a children's doctor, so I had to move on. But you know, she still has like she likes minions, so I painted her a minion, and she still hangs it in her office. So she's the children's hospital in general really good. So experience for me at least. Um, yeah, all the doctors informed me of like risks and like of any surgery, like stuff like that. I remember, oh yeah, fun fact, like to get all my chemotherapy administered, they can't do an IV as often because like it'll like burn your veins.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So they put like a thing called a VAD under like your chest, and it's like the size of like a toonie or something, and it would. Now I think of it, it's kind of disgusting, but like it's like under your skin, and there's like a little port where you can insert the IV, and like somehow like the IV like goes right above your heart to administer the chemo, and it would like they press it and you could feel it press under your skin, and it'd like sit on top of your rib cage. It was weird. So I kind of hated that every time, but once I got that removed, it was really nice. And then I also got this thing called a PICC line. I think I still have a scar from it. I like don't know if okay, well you can't see. Anyways, it's like a tiny little like dot on my arm, and they put me like on laughing gas for like the procedure to get it in, and it made me cry instead. Like I don't even know. It was so like it was such a fever dream, honestly. But they like grab your arm and like ring it up your arm like in a vein, and it was like a really sharp burn for 1 second, and that was on like the good stuff, like on the medicine that is supposed to numb that, and I still felt that, so I don't want to know how painful that was without the laughing gas. But and it goes like up your armpit, like in like once again like above your heart, and it was like
Oh my god,
so weird, so weird.
Crazy. Wow,
Yeah.
you felt that with the laughing gas.
Oh yeah, I felt that.
Oh my gosh.
It's like yeah, it was like really funny that I think about it. But yeah, I mean they took it out along with my hip replacement, so double whammy.
You did that.
You did
Yeah.
That is so.
You did
Girl,
that.
yeah.
I did
Power
that.
to you, girl.
You girl bossed through that.
Period.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess now, like that you're in uni and stuff, did any of your experience with your cancer kind of influence the way you, like for your future career? Like, did you ever consider something in healthcare since you're in health sci? Like, how did it
Yeah.
impact?
So at first, like, I was deciding. I think like grade 10, I started like actually thinking about like what I'm gonna do after high school, and I was like, doctor would be cool, but I'm like something just about it felt off. So I'm like, I don't know, and I'm like, oncologist would be cool, like becoming a cancer doctor, and I'm like, but I don't know, it just didn't click with me. I was like, eh. And then I was like, I really like psychology, so I'm like, let's go see what's in there. So I think my perspective is like helping from a different point of view, not like the physical view, but I guess mental. I mean, yeah, wherever my future takes me. But that's why I got kind of interested in that. But I did consider like healthcare beforehand, but like that was in grade 10. By the time I was in like 11 and grade 12, like I was pretty dead set on psychology, so I think I kind of just knew, which I'm lucky. A lot of people don't know what they want to do, so
Like we said, you know yourself best. So.
yeah.
Why do I always forget what I'm gonna say when I have the mic in my hand? um, sorry guys, hold up.
It's okay.
I'm like blanking out. So as someone who survived your cancer, do you have any advice for like people who are going through that same path that you had gone through, or like?
I think for me, like a big part of it was having hobbies. Like
Yeah.
you can't just like do nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna go insane.
Yeah.
So pick up a new hobby, draw, color, watch a show, like literally anything. Rainbow Loom, yeah, Minecraft, like having a hobby during your treatment and like a few people to talk to, whether it's like people in the hospital, even the nurses. Like I became like friends with all the nurses. Like
that's so cute.
it's kind of funny because like I remember when I used to go to I go to follow-up appointments like
Yeah.
every year to 2 years.
Yeah.
And so before I turned 18, I was still at the children's hospital following up, and all the nurses recognized me, but I didn't recognize them.
Oh my god.
And that was like kind of funny because I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I really like don't remember a lot of them
Yeah.
now, but they all recognized me, so that was like kind of interesting.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And that was like 8 years ago. I'm like, y'all have good memory.
Yeah, wow,
But
that is pretty impressive.
yeah, I had like favorite nurses too.
Yeah.
I remember I'd be like, oh my god, I love this one. She's like always gets me ice cream and like all that.
Were there any things like when you were in the hospital that like left a positive impact besides like meeting people or anything?
I think for me it was like seeing that there was like a community for me. Like there was like this area, it was like in the inpatient treatment area where it's this big giant like area where you sit and like it's like a playroom and you're with a bunch of other kids who are also getting like IV treatment at the same time. Like everyone's like carrying their IVs with them. Like I dragged mine around with me. A bunch of kids dragged theirs around. It was so you all got to like socialize, so that was really good instead of just being in like isolated rooms. So that's how we met a lot of people. Was through that like community, like getting all of us just getting treatment together was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I also had to get a lot of blood transfusions
Oh wow, really?
because like chemo kills like everything, it doesn't discriminate, so my iron levels and like blood levels were like getting very low, so I would get blood transfusions too, so that was interesting. I actually had an allergic reaction once.
Oh my gosh, really?
It was specifically to like platelets, I think, like the yellow blood stuff. So I was like, wow, my throat is like kind of closing right now. And I was just talking to my mom. And the nurse was like, okay, we're going to get you some medicine for that.
Yeah.
And I opened back up.
Okay.
I mean, I realized it before like my throat, like I started to struggle. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
They gave me different types after that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I realized I'm allergic to platelets. So that's great.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that was like a really good thing, the community aspect. Like there were resources to connect you. There was like a thing called like the teen lounge. I was too young for it, but anyone in the teens, they'd like watch movies together every something evening and like just talk to each other normally.
That's so cute.
So,
I love that.
yeah, it was honestly a very good environment. And on each ward, there was like a playroom. So like you would just go in the playroom, play air hockey, play with like markers, whatever. And there's like a community kitchen and all the parents socialize and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not only do their children need a community, they themselves also need support from each other as well. I feel like that.
Yeah, like I would like try and think of it as like a flat complex where like everyone has their own rooms, but you all like interact. Like I don't know if it's different now that like the new hospital's been built. FYI, the new children's hospital is nice. Like,
Really?
I was in there and the elevator had like colored LEDs.
Oh,
and, like, it was like a
okay.
rave in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now I have to go to like the depressing like adult. Yeah, the BC Cancer Agency. But I was like, damn, like the children's hospital, it's nice.
Yeah, like why can't I go there?
Yeah. And they actually have like beds like in for the parents like in each room because like I know my parents, they had to like get a cot and then sleep.
Oh wow.
But I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, new children's hospital looks really nice actually.
Shout out to BC Children's. Y'all are doing amazing.
Yeah. That foundation isn't for nothing.
No.
Yeah.
I think what else I was gonna ask is not only for advice for people who are going through it or have gone through it. Do you have any advice for people like me and Sophie who listen to survivors tell their story? Like, what can we do, or like something that we should keep in mind when having these conversations or listening? Like, I know sometimes we may say things that come off a little insensitive or do things, but do you have like any advice? Like, be as honest as you can want to be.
I guess like so far you guys haven't done anything to make me mad, so that's good. Good job, guys. You passed the exam. I think as I mentioned before, just don't let that affect your view of me or anything. Like honestly, just like don't pity. Like I think we've gotten so much of that already. It's like I'm like I just don't like if someone pities me, I like don't like them. I'm like I know they're coming from like a good place, but it's like it's old. Like stop it. So I think that's just like my biggest thing. Don't pity them. Just be like, that's something you went through. Good job. That's the best I can sum it up.
Yeah.
Don't be obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people might not even want to talk about it at all. So there's also that. But I guess like maybe asking specific questions. This is for other people though. But like for me, I really don't care. Ask me anything. I'll answer. But some people are like, they don't want specific answers, questions asked like what type was it, like I don't know, how old were you, stuff like that. Like I think for some people they don't like that, but for me I'm like, ask me literally anything. Every organ affected, everything. Like, I don't care.
All the nitty-gritty
Yeah,
details.
I don't care.
I love that.
I'd say if we're talking like trauma, I don't know if it's like trauma area, but I feel like having that experience, like my whole like preteenhood was like absolutely taken away. Like I went straight from like child to teenager. So when I was like thrown into high school, I was like, whoa, what is going on? And like people were like talking to each other and socializing, and I feel like I lost a lot of that, like, so like mentally, I not mentally but just like socially I was on a different level than other people because I think I matured way faster than I should have. So when I'm looking at a lot of like these people in high school, I'm like, you guys are kind of you guys, this is so mean. Well, you guys are kind of like not dumb, but like I was like childish. Yeah, there we go, like immature.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was like kind of isolating for me.
Yeah.
And I felt like like it was a little frustrating growing up with some of my friends because like I felt like I couldn't expect it out of them either and I knew that, but I think that led to like a lot of like feeling isolated and just a little depressed throughout high school. But I mean, from like, it doesn't sound so bad, but like when COVID happened, I was honestly like pretty happy.
Yeah.
Because like I got to stay home all the time. I did school and played Minecraft all day.
And Rainbow.
In high school.
So honestly, I think COVID was like my turning point. But I think socially, it also made me like not talk to people as much. In high school, I didn't reach out to people in my classes. I didn't talk to people in my classes. So I think that made me like, people probably thought I was like really shy, but honestly, once you started talking to me, I was fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, what could I have done? I was like still like 13, 14. Like I'm not exactly mature myself, but you know, being through that experience really sets you apart from other people. So that was just something I thought I'd mention. I feel like now only I'm starting to like come out of my shell more. Like this would have happened for me in high school instead of like it happening now type of thing. So that's like a delay I kind of saw.
Yeah.
But I mean, what can I do? I go at my own pace now. So
As you should. As you should. Did you feel like you like kind of grew resentment to the fact that like you had to grow up a lot faster than
I
most people?
definitely had a lot of like why me type of feelings.
Yeah.
But I think at some point, like you just start thinking about it so much that you're like, what is the point of thinking about it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this moment where it like clicked for me, and I was like, wow, it really doesn't matter. I am like where I am now. So I just started moving forward instead of thinking backwards, I guess. Yeah.
Your mindset is a mindset I need to learn how to adapt. I feel like this whole time you've been talking, I'm like, wow, you are like my role model on how I should face hardship, because like you have such a strong mindset, and it's like you don't come across that very often either. And so like I have so much respect for you for like you're so mentally strong, like not only physically having gone through what you had gone through, like you mentally, even like throughout it, like you were just pushing through, and like it really shows now as you are like the way you like present yourself too, like you're just so like, yeah, like it is what it is, like you know, I wish like that's something I admire a lot about you and respect you a lot for, because damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, like even hearing you like share your story in my head, I was like, she's so badass. Like I love that. I love that. Yeah. And yeah, you're just so strong with how you dealt with basically your treatment, the way you found out, the way you dealt with it, and just like how you carry yourself around here, and like being part like a member of our club. We really appreciate you having like even just being here sharing with your story to us. And have you ever like shared your story in this like formal setting?
Probably not. I think like the most like crazy thing I did was like I think it was like with Coast Capital or something. They were doing like an article, and like in grade 12 they were like, hey, can we like ask you a few questions and you can be on our like little news thing about cancer. And so I was like on that.
Oh wow, so cool.
So that was like the most like public thing I've ever done. But this is like the most in-depth thing I've probably ever done, I think. So it's fun. I kind of like it.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I feel like I feel more confident. Like I want to be a better person like right now. Not gonna lie.
Before we transition into relay, I just want to say I'm super grateful to have someone like Selena in our club, like having this experience, like just being here with like both of you. Like I'm grateful I get these experiences to like talk to someone who survived cancer and understand better like what can we do to help those who have gone through this journey. And just like I feel like even just like being vulnerable, like a lot telling people, hey, it's okay. Like you can tell us what you want to tell us, what you're comfortable with. We're not here to judge. Like it doesn't define you. So I think just like having Selena here can help break down those like that stigma around it as well and that barrier. So I'm super grateful to have Selena and met Selena this year. I think these are like what makes me so happy to be part of SFUCCS. I get to meet people that are like right in front of me that are so strong. Like hello, like your mindset. I can't get over it. I'm like, I need to face life with that kind of like attitude because it does a lot. And look at where you're at now. Like damn, like you're in university at SFU, getting that degree, like getting that bag. And I'm always rooting for you, whatever career path you take. Like I know, like trust me, I know you'll do it because like look at you, like yeah, like I have no doubt in my mind that you're gonna get where you want to be because you've done it before, and I know you'll keep on doing it. So
Thank you.
yeah, of course. But is there anything else before we move on to our club stuff?
No, I think I've covered quite a bit.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Transitioning now into all things club related. So relay is, as we speak, in like what, 40 days ish,
Oh my gosh.
45.
I'm scared.
Crazy. Currently we are still taking submissions for YI relay.
Yes.
So if you want to share YU relay, then head to the link in our bio and share your stories. And like we said, our theme for this year is Western. So if you are coming to relay, start thinking about what you're going to show up with wearing. All the Western spirit we could have is great.
Selena, what are you looking forward to for Relay for Life?
I think just like setting it all up and maybe seeing a few other survivors. That'll be interesting. Talking to them about Relay for Life and maybe seeing what their treatment experience was like if they're willing. But you know, I think that's just interesting. I like knowing about people. It's kind of fun. Maybe that's why I'm in psychology.
And then if you have like other questions about Relay for Life in our club, you can head to our previous podcast where we talked all about that with Kiara.
Make sure you register and donate. Our event is happening on March 15th on a Saturday. So if you're free, you have no weekend plans, make sure to pull up to SFU.
We will all be there. You can say hi to us.
And then yeah, you get to hear more stories like Selena's. We'll have some cancer survivors speak about their stories. We'll have the survivor lap, which I'm so excited about. I think we're gonna have probably more survivors this year, which I think will be a lot of fun. We get to celebrate so many people. I'm personally excited to just like celebrate like all the hard work we've done and just letting everyone know like you are not alone. So I'm very excited. I'm very sentimental. I'm probably gonna
Same
cry,
here.
but I'm very excited. Just to, like everyone's gonna come together, and I'm excited to celebrate Selena as well. So yay!
Yay for that. We will see you guys in our next episode, which will come out in like 2 weeks from now. And I guess that ends off today's podcast. Any final words?
Thank you for having me on the podcast. You guys are great co-hosts. I'm glad to come back for more questions about my story anytime. So, you know.
And thank you for being here with us today on a Saturday, on a snowy Saturday.
On a snowy Saturday.
So props to you, and thank you once again for being here with us, sharing your story. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!